medication, I noticed that my knuckles started to swell, and the skin was peeling around the knuckles. What time I went to finally saw the rheumatologist in September of 2017. I sort of had an idea just by searching through the internet what was probably the cause, and it was more of a confirmation diagnosis by the rheumatologist that I had diffuse scleroderma. This was September 17. There wasn't a great outlook at that point for when you had that disease. And there still is not a cure for it. It was just one of the things you had to monitor, take care of yourself, but there was a high mortality rate, and that's what it was going to be. And for myself, the worst part was going to be my lungs. They were decreasing in functionality. I could deal with the lack of mobility in my hands and thickening of the skin, but what was really going to do the major harm and the permanent damage would be my lungs. Coincidentally enough, Dr. Connaught called me while I was out of town and said, hey, I think you may be a prime candidate for stem cell transplant. And with that, you've got to be in a bit of a sweet spot. You've got to be ill enough or unhealthy enough to need it, but not so unhealthy that you can't make it through the stem cell transplant itself, and it would do major damage. So I said, yeah, let's hopefully that tackles things that at least alleviate some of the higher mortality symptoms I was having.
If you start looking back into the history of this disease, it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. They have come so far in their medical research and development of their medications and ability. The stem cell is very exciting, and so be relaxed and take one day at a time. But you can really rely on the doctors and the teams here at U of M, because they're stellar. And we're very happy.
And I actually had the stem cell transplant at the very beginning of June of this year. So that was 5 months ago. And a couple of things. One is the transplant itself, I was very fortunate. My body dealt with the chemotherapy, the radiation well. I didn't have normal side effects of loss of hair, so on and so forth. But the terrible side effects that I had anticipated, I was looking for the worst, didn't materialize. U of M was great when it came to anticipating and using a particular protocol they have for this procedure to give me the meds ahead of time, so I didn't get nauseous, I didn't have all the issues. So I felt honestly pretty normal for most of the time I was in here. I was very fortunate. I was able to leave the hospital in 17 days. That included the harvesting period and all that. So it was really only 11 days after the stem cell transplant that I was able to get out of the hospital. But I was very, very lucky and fortunate that the worst symptom was the one that the stem cell solved for me. So again, we're extremely pleased that we had the opportunity for the stem cell transplant, that it was fully backed by U of M, and the staff here from oncology right through rheumatology and urology and all the other ones were just phenomenal for us.